Hey, great news about electric vehicles again. Volkswagen just had its Power Day, showing us the roadmap into an electric future. My friends at BMW are launching their second big phase of electrification after the i3 and i8 in 2014. And Volvo committed to going all electric by 2030, similar to GM by 2035. In related discussions, people quite often point to Moore's law, suggesting battery performance is going to double exponentially. Is that legit? And what actually is Moore's law anyway? So let's review. In 1965, Intel's co-founder Gordon Moore suggested the number of transistors in an integrated circuit would double every 2 years. Wow! And how right he was. Look at this logarithmic chart. That's a pretty good forecast made in the 1960s. A doubling every 2 years actually turned out to be true all the way until today. But can we apply the same to batteries? Let's see. Moore took the number of transistors as the basis for his projections. For batteries, let us use charge or ions as the basis. Okay? Both transistors and ions here describe how much performance you get out of the respective device, a computer chip or an electric battery. Okay, and if Moore's law were to be applied, that means that the charge per battery doubles every 2 years? Some are mocking the application of Moore's law to battery technology, pointing to the first battery in 1860 and show what the doubling every 2 years would mean. They calculate that Einstein's E equals mc squared should have been outrun around 1950. And ultimately, Tesla's semi-truck battery could release the same energy as a 1A supernova at the dawn of the next century. Wow! That's a lot of juice, my friends. But let's be a bit more realistic here and understand Moore's law as exponential growth. Okay? Then the question actually becomes what the base of such exponential growth is. Maybe it just is not a factor of 2 every 2 years or an annual growth of 40%, such as for microprocessors. Actually, electrochemists tell us that this annual growth for batteries is more like 7%. Aha! But if that happens year over year, so the frontier of battery energy density moves out by the same factor from 1 year to the next, that actually is exponential growth. It just isn't as fast as computer chips, but it's still exponential, which means it accelerates a lot over time. And guess what? 7% annual growth actually means doubling every 10 years. So, where computer chips follow a law of factor 2 every 2 years, batteries follow a law of factor 2 every 10 years. And a little secret here, if you apply those 7% to today's batteries, then most of the promises that companies make for the future products are all of a sudden just business as usual. But hey, still, 7%, not bad. I take that on my savings account. Well, then let's apply this slowed down Moore's law and see what would happen over the next 10, 20, 50 years, the same time frame for which Moore's law has been around. But first, let's look backwards. 7% per year actually reflects the step from the 2008 Tesla Roadster to the 2012 Model S quite well. Good indication that our model might hold some truth. However, Tesla might need to get a little bit more ambitious regarding the next Roadster. Just 4% annual growth since Model S is not too impressive. Anyway, let's move forward now and take 7% every year, which means doubling every 10 years. And let's take a pretty good value of 250 watt-hours per kilogram as our starting point for 2020. Okay, we are not getting a supernova out of this anytime soon. Pooh. But still, every 10 years, the range of an EV would double if the battery weight stayed the same. And in 2050, a 100 kilowatt-hour battery of a Tesla Model S would weigh about 55 kilograms. That is the same as a full gas tank. Not bad. And even if not the entire solar system in the tank, that's still a pretty good tiger. Okay, now that we got performance covered, what about cost? After all, it's about how much bang for the buck, right? Well, there's something known as Wright's Law. That is pretty interesting. But let's do that another time, okay? I'll leave you with this for today. Let me know what you think. Bye for now.